Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and today I'm going to show you how to make this pocket folder for Traveler's Notebook. This is a pocket size folder. This can be adapted for any size Traveler's Notebook, and I will do other sizes if you like. Just leave me a comment below and let me know. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to do a pocket folder, pocket size pocket folder. So I have double-sided open stock paper. This one is glossy. So first, my measurements, I need to cut this down to 8 by 8 2/4. The 8 2/4 is the long side. So if you have a paper that needs to go in a specific direction, which is not a good idea with this folder, as you can see, unless the inside is the side that you're more concerned with. Because, for instance, I used a printed text paper, and although it's the right side up on the outside, the inside flaps are upside down. So this was just a test, my test trial, so I left it, you know, I didn't care about the text for that one. So anyway, I'm going to cut here at 8 inches. This is a new cutter, and I'm not sure that I'm happy with it. Time will tell. It's great with thin sheets of paper, but when you're using heavier cardstock. And now we're doing the 8 1/4 cut. So there we have that. Now I'm going to get out my scoreboard, because I'm going to score this with the 8-inch side at the top. I'm going to score it in half first, so that's 4 inches. Then I'm going to score the left side at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to flip it around because I have a hard time scoring over there since I'm left-handed. And I'm going to score what was the right side and is now the left side at 1/2 inch. So you have 1/2 inch on either side, and then you score in the middle. Then we're going to turn the paper around to the 8 1/4 side up top. Oops. Sorry if I was out of frame. I cannot get this camera to be straight. But okay, so now we're going to score at 5.5 inches. And that should leave 1, 2, and 3/4 inch flap on the bottom. So that's everything. So you can see the score marks a little better on this side of the paper. So what we need to do now is remove these bottom 2 flaps. Before I like to remove anything before I start folding. So I'm going to cut these 2 3/4 inch flaps, length flaps off. And I cut like on the very edge, inside edge of the score. Then, to make it nice and pretty, I'm going to cut a little triangle near the fold. So just angle, a slight angle, as you can see here, and cut. Do the same thing on the other side. So there we have the makings of our folder. This is going to be the inside, this will be the outside. Or maybe I should do it vice versa. Let's make the pink the outside. So next, we're going to measure and cut apart the bottom pocket section. Now on my sample, I think I cut only 1/4 of an inch off. I think I'm going to go a little more, do 1/2 an inch, or maybe 3/8 inch. So what I do is find the center of the center fold, and I'm going to measure out 1/2 an inch on either side. And I'm going to mark that with a pencil. So 1/2 an inch on this side of the fold and 1/2 an inch on that side of the score. Now you can do this one of two ways. I'm going to go ahead and do it by hand. You can try it with a craft cutter or X-Acto blade. Since I don't have my cut mat up here right now, I am going to do it by hand. I'm going to draw a line from my 1/2 inch mark to the center fold, and use that as my guide for cutting. Do the same thing on the other side. Draw a line from my 1/2 inch mark to the center fold. Okay. So now I'm just going to cut that out. So it's a little triangle. Okay, I cut that crooked. This is why I don't do, you know what, I'm gonna leave that. It's not that far off. Okay, so that's everything you need for your folder. So this is gonna be our outside, this is the inside. So now we start making our folds. And make sure you get a good crease on your scores. This paper again is shiny and extra thick, so it's going to be a tough one, which is good for what it is because it will hold up better without laminating than just a regular no gloss paper. And then if you change your mind and feel like you want it to go the other direction, all you have to do is flip it back around. But I'm going to stick with the pink on the outside. And then now we fold our center crease. And work that score really tight. Now we have our flaps. Now you see here it's a little snug where it comes over the flap. So I am going to trim a little bit off of this edge. Let's see if this other one is that way as well. It probably is. No, it's not. So we're going to trim a little bit. I didn't cut this far enough on the inside when I cut off the piece. So we're going to cut a little bit more. I didn't cut on the inside of the score. Now that's the inside of the score. Let's see. There we go. Now, perfect. Okay, so now you use your adhesive of choice. Glue, score tape, RT, G-gun, whatever you choose. I am going to use, what am I going to use? I'm going to use this Scotch tape runner, permanent tape runner. As you can see with this one, even though it's laminated, there is, the pocket stops here with this flap that overhangs to actually make the pocket. I initially cut this, and then when I laminated it, I left it as is. And so you lose a little space, a ½ inch of space on each side. So let's not lose that space. Let's use that space. And so I am going to make a little triangle cut here. And this, I am not going to eyeball. I am going to actually measure this. So I'm going to put my center finder ruler in the middle, and I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch base triangle here. So I marked it 1/8 inch on either side of the center. So I'm just going to cut that, and then meet in the middle. And I probably will would have measured off 1/8 of an inch on that too. I don't know. I'm just really precise about those things. It's gotta be just right. I can't with the eyeballing too much. Okay, so I'm finding the center. Then I'm moving to the other edge of the flap. And I'm going to do a 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, 1/8 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to cut my triangle. There you have it. So now we don't waste that ½ inch on each side. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue down. Oh, help if I opened it. Normally I would use a wet glue. I'm a wet glue person for the most part because it's more forgiving, and I can never run this tape straight no matter what I do. It's always crooked. Okay. So you fold your bottom flaps up and you fold over. Make sure that everything is flat and smooth. And then you just fold these over. Now you could have done the corners here, but I am going to round my corners. So there you have it. And this one, like I said, I glue on it. I will not laminate this one. I'll do another one another time. Is there something on my board? But I will go ahead and round the corners. And I'm not a big giant rounding person. I didn't even pay attention when I rounded that one, and I just used the the ½ inch rounder. But I like a smaller rounded corner. So I am going to use the 1/4 inch and see how that looks first. And then it's best to start small, and you can always go up. If you start big, you can't go small. It's too late. So chomp that corner. So a nice rounded corner. And that's good. And I'm not going to round the bottoms because of this paper. When you're rounding these corners, you also should round the fold corners so that your band doesn't put so much stress on the paper and rip your fold. So I'm going to do a little corner round. This one is a little harder to do, but not with the crocodile. So then you can just slide it in and your band fits snugly on your folder. And again, since you cut your little flaps there, you have that extra bit of room. Okay. Ta-da! So there you have it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will put the measurement, also include the measurements below. And yeah, also let me know if you would like me to do other sizes, and I will do that for you. And until then, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're just visiting and haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus at Scrapcraftastic. That's it for now. Talk to you later. Bye.